Hello everyone, welcome back to Resident Evil 4. It is later in the same day where I did session 2, and I kind of felt like I wanted to do another one today. I often don't like playing like more than an hour or two of video games a day, which I know a lot of people think doesn't sound like that much. I always just feel kind of like I feel kind of stale or something. I don't know how to describe it, but like doing anything for like long periods of time in a single day like often makes me feel kind of itchy or like stagnant in some way. Like I'd prefer to like switch it up and mix my day up and do, you know, a bunch of different things rather than spend all day on one thing. But I was excited to get back to this, so I just thought, like, why not? Oh yeah, bullets have penetration, obviously, as we can see from those shots landing. I don't know if that's come up so far, but... that's like one of my favorite little things in this game. I actually have a lot of shotgun ammo. So I might just quickly... Ow. Good ammo dump. Didn't lose too much health either, and I can probably find an egg somewhere in the village. So this is our second time through the village. Nothing has really changed this time around, other than, yeah, some of this stuff is repopulated. There might be a few additional bear traps or something. I can't quite remember, but I think we passed through the village 3 or 4 times total, and each time we go through it, it's going to change a little bit more. Nothing back that way. I got all of the... I want to your egg. Give me an egg. The time I really remember is that, like, after we get Ashley from the church, there's going to be a time where we pass back through the village, and it's going to be at night, and there's like torches around, and there's a bunch of villagers with glowing red eyes, and additional bear traps, definitely. Like, that time I remember, because like anyone who's played through this game in the Ashley sequences will always remember, just because like Ashley finds ways to get like stuck in traps and stuff. Oh. Cool. Is there anything else in here? Check. No. I hear somebody, I think. Yeah. On the roof. Hi. There we go. Last enemy. Did you drop anything? Yes. I think I already cleared the village, but I don't totally remember how much it repopulates with like additional item drops and things. For the most part, it doesn't look like it. Maybe I just missed those two the first time I came through here. It's always possible. I don't really want to go up the ladder because that just takes time. I'll check to see if there's any eggs or anything else dropped behind the barns. Nope, doesn't look like it. So So towards the end of the last session, I sort of slowed my roll a little bit and talked a little bit about the camp side of Resident Evil, as well as like the development of them moving towards becoming like action games. I wanted to return to that. It's locked and won't open. There's some kind of symbol on the door. I wonder if it matches the key with the exact same symbol. So yeah, I feel like, as said, people have this tendency to sort of lament the downfall of this franchise, and that's something I've always found kind of weird or kind of silly. Oh, I was also gonna make a new save slot just in case I ever need to record any section over again, even though it's only been 6 minutes, I guess. But people have this tendency to, I feel like, lament the Resident Evil franchise's trajectory in any number of ways, and it's not just. I guess it's something I think about as being this prevailing narrative where, like, people repeat talking points that they've heard before, but they maybe they wouldn't have, like, arrived at that conclusion on their own, or like the dialogue surrounding the franchise having had a downfall, I think is like pervasive in a way that is I don't want to say disruptive, but it's like I think that people like passing on these existent opinions or something. Especially if there's like a really like snappy way to say it, or there's certain, I don't know, like groupings of information that will get. Oh, merchant again.
Got something that might interest you.
I'd forgotten about that.
Got a selection of...
So, stranger, any luck with the blue medallions? Remember, shoot 10 or more to get your specialized gun.
What are you buying?
Stock for the TMP. I'm not going to use the TMP. It's a submachine gun.
Buying?
That is it's actually really good for a lot of reasons. The chief one being that like melee abilities in this game are just free damage, especially like in the latter half of the game. You can. It's not even the second half. I guess it's more like second 2/3. You can suplex enemies rather than just kicking them, and the suplex very often can lead to crit kills.
Is that all? Thank you. Is that all?
I don't remember if the ruby gets inset into anything. The breast pocket watch definitely isn't.
Thank you.
Think. Same.
Thank you.
Those have divots. Those are divots. I can't remember if this gets set into anything. But because melee is like free damage, the kicks and the suplexes.
What are you buying?
The TMP doesn't do very much damage, but it has so much ammo that you can stagger enemies with that it becomes like the tool with which you stagger enemies, which is honestly super useful.
Is that all, strength? Is that all? Thank you. What are you buying? Is that all, stranger? Is that all? Thank you.
Is this the way I came from? So yeah, the TMP for landing melee is super powerful because it's like you can have hundreds of bullets in the gun, and you can stagger enemies with just one, and then land kicks and suplexes, and that just really does a lot. Now we are in the cemetery, so I can get the rest of the blue medallions. But back to the previous discussion before I started talking about weapons, because the merchant, once again, I need to like get better at staying on topic. Just a moment. There we go. It's weird that people talk about the Resident Evil franchise as this, like, downfall dialogue, I think. Just... Ow. I thought that would have killed her. There we go. Oh, I guess there was only 2 of them in here. I could have sworn there were more in the cemetery. Later, definitely. So, like, there's 7 mainline numbered Resident Evil games. Technically, there's more like 9, if depending on who you're talking to, plus remakes. So, there's obviously Resident Evil 1 through 7. Taking place between Resident Evil 3 and 4 is this game called Code Veronica, sometimes also called Code Veronica X, which was like a re-release. I think these crows have stuff, by the way, so I'm gonna... That's the other advantage of having the TMP, by the way, is that you can, like, break environmental stuff for way less of a, like, damage investment than spending a whole handgun bullet or any number of other means of damage dealing. Come on. But yeah, Code Veronica takes place between 3 and 4. It was originally meant to be like Resident Evil 3, and in many regards it's like the trajectory of 1 to 2 to 4 is like better upheld by Code Veronica than it is by Resident Evil 3, which is kind of like... 3 was this like hastily made game that was originally supposed to be a spin-off, I believe, and then sort of became... damn it, that was supposed to be... I didn't mean to do that. And I might get a fish again. So Code Veronica is... Nice. Medallion. And then there's also Resident Evil 0, which was like... Resident Evil 0 was a prequel that was created before Resident Evil 4 came out and after the Resident Evil 1 remake came out. Let's make this quick. That was ideal. Let's see if I remember this puzzle. I think it's this one, the one that looks like an M, and the one that looks like a sort of like a Z. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. There we go. You got the green cat's eye. And that goes into... Nope. Wrong menu. Key treasures. So, examine. The marking on the stone indicates that it once was set in something, but what? Nevertheless, a rare gem. And we have this guy. There are 3 recessions inside. I wonder what they're for. Ta-da! So as I said, the Stein would be worth like 10,000, I think, or something like that, and then the each of the cat's eyes would be worth like 3,000, something like that. So hypothetically, if you sell them all individually, you get 19,000, but by combining them, I think it sells for like 30. I don't remember the exact numbers, but that's like the principle of it. Like by having the patience to not sell them immediately, you get a bigger reward, which I always thought was kind of a cool thing. It's sort of for more disciplined players who don't feel like desperate and needing to spend money immediately. It's, I don't know, it rewards your patience. So anyway, so 0 through 7, kind of. There's also 8 is on the way, and there's like a ton of games that are spin-offs of like varying degrees of canonicity and varying degrees of like, God damn it, that was supposed to be a reload. Varying degrees of like relevancy to the overarching plot. The Revelations games. Oh.
Leon, have you reached the church yet?
Well, yeah. Sort of.
Leon, did I mention not to take the scenic route? At any rate, Ashley's probably inside that structure. Rescue her, hurry!
Right, okay. I didn't check the door because I know it's locked. I had forgotten that. It won't open. There's a round hole. Maybe something fits here.
Hunnigan, it's Leon. The door's locked. I can't get in.
Didn't they teach you how to pick locks at the academy?
Yeah. There's some sort of indentation, like something might fit inside.
Well, there's no use standing around. Leon, you have to find some way or something to get inside.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I knew that, I immediately ran past, but... So, anyway, there's some spin-offs called the Revelations games, Resident Evil Revelations 1 and Resident Evil Revelations 2. It is my understanding that those are, like, pretty... Bye-bye. Dang it. Dang it. There we go. How many bullets do I have? 50 total. I should go back to... Well, I can save that for bosses. Closure of the church. Regarding the 2 fugitives, the apprehension of Louise is our top priority. The American agent is a distant second. What Louise stole from us is far more important than the girl. Unless we get it back, the girl will become useless to us. We must get it back to execute our plan to the end. If it gets in the wrong hands, the world would become a totally different place than what Lord Sadler has envisioned. At all costs, we mustn't let that happen. Nevertheless, we're not letting go of the girl. To ensure that the agent does not get to her, I have locked the church door where the girl is being held. Anyone who needs access to the church must first get approval by Lord Sadler. There's a key beyond the lake, but it should be safe now that the Del Lago has been awakened by our Lord. No one will get across the lake alive. Plus, our same blood courses through the agent's veins. It'll be just a matter of time before he joins us. Once he does, there will be nobody else left that will come looking for the girl. I mean, she's the president's daughter, so I think that's... A lot of people in this universe make a lot of assumptions. Egg. Egg. Yeah, so from now on, there's always a chance there's going to be snakes in those things, so I'm going to be keeping an eye out for them. Okay, and one more ahead, which I think is down again, yeah. It's all 15 of them, I think. The Revelations games I have not played, but it's my understanding that they're like, in some ways, like more important, more important to the plot of the series at large than like Resident Evil 4 might be. Oh, nice. Instant crit. And then there's these like pseudo remake titles that are meant to sort of expand upon the plot by adding a little bit of background. One of my favorite little dumb things. Yeah, flash grenades do like 5 damage or something. Really insignificant. Probably not even 5 damage. So they're probably like 1 damage, like a pistol shot, an unupgraded pistol shot. So yeah, they kill crows. They also, for whatever reason, the light also automatically kills the parasites who we'll run into later in the game. So the flash grenade's like more useful than a lot of people realize. If you never attempt to use it against the very dangerous parasites in the game. We can hear behind the door. Behind that door is a boss later. I hear him grumbling. But there were these Wii shooters, these light gun shooters called Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles that like were loosely remakes of portions of previous games. Yeah, merchant that way. Do I shoot you? Did that drop anything? No. I should also check. Did I miss any treasure? No. When I... Okay, I'm on track. I missed that treasure. I don't remember what that is, though. More fish, if I want fish. But yeah, Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles were loose remakes of previous sections of games, but they also had new sections and sort of like expanded upon the plot. And then there's like true hardcore spin-offs like the Outbreak Files, which were like multiplayer, not exactly MMOs, but they're like 4-player co-op things. They were kind of like, think like Left 4 Dead, but in the style of the original Resident Evil games.
Got some rare things on sale, stranger.
Well done, stranger. I see you shot enough number of...
You've shot enough number of medallions. I guess that's grammatically correct.
Like I promised, go claim your specialized gun in the buy screen. Don't worry about money. This one's on the house.
What are you buying?
Yeah, so the Punisher replaces the handgun. Slightly faster reload, slightly lower damage. The main thing is that it has...
What are you selling?
It has piercing. Might as well.
Is that all? What are you buying?
I'm not gonna keep this gun. I'm gonna sell it as soon as the Red 9 becomes available, as I think I mentioned. But
Thank you.
in my mind, it's basically a straight upgrade. It does a little less damage, but the bullet passage is
What are you buying?
just better. But yeah, so the Resident Evil series, there's also like Resident Evil Gaiden, I think, and there's like the Survivor series, the Gun Survivor series, maybe is what it's called. There's a ton of spin-offs. It's a pretty massive series, to be honest. And I only know like a small fraction of these games, but for all of the hemming and hawing and lamentations of talking about the series having gone downhill, which I feel is like a disproportionate dialogue, or has been a disproportionate dialogue at sometimes. Honestly, the series is like pretty solid throughout. Like Resident Evil 1 was great for its time. 2 and 3 were great for their times. 2 in particular, I think a lot of people consider to be... 2, I think a lot of people think of as being like the masterpiece, but 3 has like a lot of love. There we go. Was there any others? I didn't think so. I'm just gonna kite them towards me, because why not? Well, that's a choice. Come on. But yeah, 1, 2, 3 were all considered pretty great at their time of release, as far as I understand it. 1 in particular, like people cite as being like the start of the survival horror genre, even though there were some like precedents with games like Alone in the Dark. That's probably just treasure. Don't need, even though it would be nice. I can also get an egg again from that snake. Ow, I tried to get him. That's why you get snakes. Kill snakes, I mean to say. Not get, like, receive. Okay, might as well. I might as well. Ow. Rude. That's getting an egg. Ow! Where'd you all come from? Might be time to eat the big fish. He's been kind of sitting around for a while. It's not like a joke about food poisoning or anything, that's just... He takes up a lot of inventory space. Do I want to use a grenade on them? Nah. Is there anybody else coming? I hear the grunts of more guys. Oh yeah, and then over there. Cool. That was, I think, one burst head. Oh. Rude. There's more guys in this area than I'd remembered. Come this way. Gonna use the bullet piercing effect. Ow. There we go. Might be all the guys in this area. That was more than I even remembered. I don't remember this room super well. Like, you only pass through here once, and it's interesting because you do have this, like, alternate path aspect to it. Thank you. Egg. But, like, I don't know. I don't think it's, like, an exceptionally well-designed area. Or, like, exceptionally interesting. It has lots of ups and downs, but it's, like, pretty easy to kite people. I think there's another pocket watch. No, pipe. That's what it was. Is that everything in this area? I think so. There's probably, like, some more ammo in some of these outbuildings, but... nothing over here. Is that a snake? I could get the egg, but don't really feel like it. And I have, like, almost too much rifle ammo right now, so might as well. Switch back to this, just in case there's people around the corner. And a bully an old man. There we go. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, all considered classics. 1 especially established the genre, 2 is considered an improvement in every way, 3 isn't really considered an improvement per se, but is still like a super iconic game in its own right, and is like pretty widely beloved. That's where Nemesis shows up, who's of course like one of the most iconic things in the franchise. Give egg. Snake. Code Veronica got kind of mixed reception. It was actually the first game in the series to have like true full 3D rendered environments. Like the previous games had their stuff rendered in CGI, but the camera wouldn't move. They were static images, which made a lot of sense. But like Code Veronica, in making its transition to a new perspective, maybe didn't totally nail it And there's a lot of weird issues with Code Veronica in general. But 4 was kind of considered a masterpiece immediately, and is still pretty well respected, other than maybe some like retroactive lamentation of people blaming it for the series' downfall, which is the whole point of this conversation. 5 was certainly considered rather good at launch, and I think it's still pretty well liked. Like it's generally regarded as like an inferior version of 4, much in the way that 3 is kind of an inferior version of 2. But it's not. I don't think people really hate it, and I think that in particular, when you play it the way it's meant to be played, which is as a co-op game rather than a single-player experience, it's actually still like pretty fun and holds up, and like a lot of the good mechanics in 4 are still present in 5. Like I don't think 5 totally understands the like sophistication of design choices that go into 4. Like some of these things I've talked about with the game teaching you concepts through room design. Oh, perfect. I'm looking for you. 5 doesn't totally get. I think 5 like so brazenly repeats certain aspects of 4 that I almost think that it wasn't like, I don't think it was well conceived. Like they copied and pasted things without thinking about why certain things are done. So obviously we just saw the salamander burst out of the lake. I'm not going to do it because it's kind of just a waste of time. There is famously an Easter egg that if you shoot the surface of the lake a bunch of times, which like most people wouldn't do, but hypothetically if you're trying to get fish or something, if you shoot the surface of the lake a bunch of times, it'll prompt an instant death cutscene where the monster jumps out of the lake and kills you. A much beloved cutscene, but I don't care. Boss battle time. So 4, I said, considered kind of a masterpiece. 5 considered pretty good. 6 is maybe like the game people cite as being like the bad game of the series, and having started playing it and not finished it, I get that. I understand why people don't like it. It is a super flawed game, and I do think that it was like the wrong direction for the franchise in a whole lot of ways, but we're like 7 games deep into the franchise at this point in terms of like talking mainline games, and mostly good. Round. I'm not doing well on this boss battle. I'm usually actually pretty good at this. No. Now I presume it's spam X to swim. I'm usually actually really good at this boss battle. It's like a pretty mindless experience. You just throw harpoons. And then generally I feel like my turning radius is kind of bad compared to what it was on the Gamecube. Like, I remember being able to hit him 3 times when he emerges rather than 2. Weird. Oh, okay, I'll need to heal. Normally I'm able to get through this without healing, but whatever. I'm maybe talking too much and... This is why I like eggs. Dang it, man. I don't know if my turning radius is different or what, but I feel like for whatever reason this is not as responsive as what I think of the fight as being. Not that it's like beloved as an especially well-designed part of the game, but... Yeah, as said, I feel like, I don't know if something got changed, but I used to be able to, like, really easily hit him 3 times when he would burst out of the water like that. And dodging these was also easier. Oh, dang it. I might need to use my health bar increase. I really don't want to die on what is probably one of the easier bosses in the game. It just feels kind of weird. Might as well. Increases health bar. Wow. I don't know why I'm not turning. I apologize. This is like not... I'm like frustrated not because this is hard, just because it's not doing what I expect it to do. I don't know if it's controller stuff or... There we go. So anyway, 6 is like the first bad game in the series. 7 is considered really beloved, but like... People always talk about 7 as being this return to form for the series, and I know it's like thematically and genre-wise more of a return to survival horror than the series it had maybe since like in quite a few years. I guess this is a cutscene, but it's not super plot heavy, so I'm going to keep talking. 7 being framed as this like major return for the franchise seems kind of odd to me because it was just like there was one bad spot leading up to it. 0 is generally considered good if inferior to the original games, but then you have all these remakes that are also considered really excellent. The remake of 1 is considered a masterpiece. Like people consider it still like one of the high watermarks for like what a remake should be. Oh, cutscene. Okay. Don't love how that section went, but... Just a dream. Maybe? I mean, it's like a weird fake out, because we know he did get infected. Or, like, I think we do.
Leon, it's been 6 hours since our last transmission. I was starting to get worried.
Don't you mean lonely? Anyway, I started to feel dizzy, and then I guess I must have lost consciousness.
Lost consciousness? Maybe that has some connection to what the village chief was talking about.
Can't say. But I'm all right now. I'm gonna continue my mission.
Anonymous letter. There's an important item hidden in the falls. If you are able to get it, you might be able to get Ashley out of the church. But I'll warn you, the route to the church isn't a walk in the park by any means. They've deployed what's called an El Gigante, so God bless. About what's been going on in your body. If I could help you, I would, but unfortunately, it's beyond my power. Man, it's dirty. Good notes, Leon. Also, here's a fun game design thing. We're about to get the Plagas revealed when we head out there. Like, the first one is going to come out, and they're giving us a flash grenade. And like I said earlier, flash grenades kill Plagas instantly. So, like, if you had run out of ammo in some capacity, you're immediately kind of given this tool, or they like make sure that you have this tool that is destructive to as well, so we don't have to watch the cutscene again. They immediately make sure you have a tool that's destructive to the Plagas, which is kind of neat. I'm still really high on rifle ammo, so I might use this for him, which is a little risky, but oh yeah, here's a fun thing, like a lot of people don't realize, but you can just immediately take the boat back and fight El Gigante, which is well, maybe you can't fight. I don't remember. You can take the boat back in any case, which is something a lot of people don't realize. Any treasure here? We're gonna get the first Plagas reveal soon. The parasite head bursters. Is it this corridor? Yes. So that's kind of an important thing to think about in gameplay, because I think critting their head actually increases the likelihood that one might burst out. I'm not 100% sure about that, but if that's the case, that kind of becomes this weird risk-reward thing where you might be like exacerbating your situation in some capacity by turning a regular enemy into a much more deadly enemy. Platforming time. So graceful. Yeah, so even when you talk about some of the Resident Evil spin-offs, like the Gun Survivor games are allegedly pretty bad, I think. And the Umbrella Chronicles games are like iffy, I would say. But you know, a lot of the spin-offs do have their advocates. The Outbreak games, in particular, I know a lot of people who champion those. Umbrella Chronicles is like kind of a fun co-op ride in its own way, even if it's not especially good. And you know, there have been some questionable developments since, but I think for the most part, like, there's way more good Resident Evil games than there are bad Resident Evil games, I would argue. And there's like, certainly there's some like mediocre ones, and there's some confusing ones of like, why did this get made? Oh, I forgot about that shiny. Are we already... Maybe they don't all get... Huh. Maybe spinels don't show up as treasures because they're not unique. And in that case, I might have missed some. Hopefully I haven't. I think I've gotten most of them. Always remember, for anyone who's playing this game for the first time, like, if these videos have piqued your interest in doing a playthrough on your own, always remember to, like, look backwards. We've already had, like, a few of those instances where they hide treasure behind you, which certainly makes a lot of sense. Grab this now so I don't have to later. Similarly, but yeah, the franchise I feel like is, as I said, there's like this narrative surrounding it. Not that I'm like a mega Resident Evil fan. Like, I do have a lot of love for the franchise, but I'm not like an obsessive devotee of the franchise. Like, there's plenty of franchises I would say that I'm like a bigger fan of, and I haven't even played all these games. I don't know. I think it's just like slightly peculiar that there's this huge dialogue about the series seemingly constantly being on the out and outs. Because yeah, for the most part, it's not. It's an entirely I wouldn't say it's like a perfect series or anything. Like I said, there's certainly tons of issues, but no.
I've obtained an object that resembles a cult group's insignia.
Wonderful, Leon. Head back to the church. Ashley's safety is our immediate priority.
I always liked this little room. I thought the door design was cool, and I like the candles and such. I don't know why, but it's always stood out to me for some reason as just kind of a beautiful environment. And I forget, is this... I know this takes us back to the merchant on the opposite side of the lake. There. Oh, you know what? There is a special merchant over there. Maybe I should go over to him. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do automatically. I forget the order of operations in this. You can go to him early. Are there any shinies in here? I don't think so. I don't think you can kill the bat. Oh, man. Oh, shit, you can kill the bats. I don't think they drop anything, though. I think they're like the spider before. But yeah, I think it's like a pretty strong franchise overall, and I think it's funny that the dialogue is so predominantly negative. Am I... Oh, man. I'm not at the one that I thought. Okay. I'm gonna go back. If I can. I think some of the dialogue around the franchise being so bad, like, extends maybe to some of the, like, extra media content to the effect of, like, the Paul W.S. Anderson films that are pretty widely reviled. I don't think these areas repopulate with enemies if you go back through them, so it shouldn't be a resource waste. Like, those are pretty widely reviled, which is much deserved, I would say. So that has maybe soured people to it, and there's like some kind of iffy quality CGI movies that are, I think, technically canon, and like there's been manga and there's been novels that like I haven't really like delved into that stuff. That's like a little bit more apocryphal, I guess you might say. I don't know that content very well. But I don't know. I think it's a franchise that gets more hate than it deserves, especially compared to like there's some other franchises that I think have like much more questionable records overall. Like the Silent Hill franchise, like not to rub it in because like I also like that franchise quite a bit, so I'm not like saying this as like a Resident Evil fanboy trying to like dunk on this other horror franchise. Is there a snake in that one? Thought I heard a hiss. Hello.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. What are you selling?
Do you have anything?
Is that all? Thank you.
I think that's just...
Ah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ah. Thank. Ah. Thank
So.
you.
I think when he says, I'll buy it at a high price, that generally means that he...
Is that all? Thank you.
It's like...
Ah. I'll buy it at a high price. Ah.
Maybe not.
I'll buy it at a high price.
I'll hold on to that for a little while, just in case.
What are you buying?
And I do have the money.
Is that all, strange? Is that all? Thank you. What are you buying?
Grateful, I should also check.
Is that all? Is that all? Thank you.
Cool. So I'm like really on a good... Oh, where'd he get all this artillery? It's a good question, Leon. Quite a collection he's got here. They really do model a lot, considering like some of this stuff doesn't ever actually get used in the game. Those are the Chicago typewriter, which is like an unlock. I think those are technically TMPs. That's the bolt action rifle. That's the Red 9 with its stock up there. That might be the automatic sniper, but if it's not the automatic sniper, I don't know why he has it. I also don't know why he won't sell it to me right now. But I don't know. We shouldn't get too into poking fun at those kind of like video gaming mechanics. Because there's always also the question of like, why can't Leon just kill him and take all the stuff without having to pay for it? Other than the fact that that's like a crime, and Leon is not much of a criminal. If anything, he's kind of a Boy Scout. Perfect. Green gem. I do indeed want the green gem, because I believe... Nope, wrong button. I think you are what goes into the mask. The markings on this piece indicate it was once set in something. Yeah, I thought so. For whatever reason, the beer stein, his memory serves, is red-yellow green, but I think the mask is red, green, blue. But I might be misremembering. So I could go in either direction right now. I'm gonna go this way. Well, nah. I'll go the way I think they want me to go. Should have done that first. Sorry, everyone, for the backtracking. But to the previous topic, Silent Hill franchise has like lingered for so long and had so many iffy quality games. Like 2, of course, is considered one of the all-time masterpieces of video gaming, not just horror games, not just the franchise, but like all video games. Silent Hill 2 is one of those names people bring up when they talk about how to define video games as an art form. Silent Hill 1 is still considered pretty good in its own way. Silent Hill 3 is still considered quite good in its own ways. 4 is kind of maybe a little bit more contentious, depending on who you talk to. But after that, it gets real rough, real fast. Like, at the time, I think people had some love for Shattered Memories, like when it first came out, but like it's completely lost all love in the following years. Like, most people don't even remember it existing, and it might have some defenders, but like by and large, it's not talked about as like one of the good Silent Hills. Homecoming is generally considered really bad, and if there are other Silent Hill games other than those, I literally don't even remember them. I'm gonna check my phone real quick because I actually don't know. Like, I don't remember. Yeah, there was Downpour, apparently. Origins, Book of Memories. Yeah, Installment Overview. Silent Hill the Arcade, Silent Hill Origin, Silent Hill Orphan, Silent Hill the Escape, Orphan 2, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, Orphan 3, Downpour, and the Book of Memories. And there was also like PT, which I guess people love and sort of group with the Silent Hill franchise sometimes. Oh hey, look who it is again. You're still here.
Got
somehow.
a selection of... What are you buying?
Yeah, he didn't add anything. For whatever reason, I thought there's enough weapons here to start a small war. For whatever reason, I thought there's some point in the game where I could swear he like adds upgrades like 10 feet apart, which is not super convenient. It could be cheap and use... I could buy a rocket launcher and make El Gigante like trivially easy, but I probably won't do that. I'll save that a little bit. But we've been in the session over an hour, so I think now might be the time to split off, and we'll keep talking later. Thanks everyone for watching. This is a fun one, and we can keep talking Resident Evil come next session. Take care, everyone.